Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Battle Hymnal. I'm Nathan J. Lawrence. I am joined, as always, by my intrepid co-hosts, Graham Coffey, say hello, Graham, and Josh Hancher. We are here to break down film. We're not going to break down film much. We don't have a lot to say about what happened last weekend in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Well, that's not fair. We probably have a lot to say, but we're going to try to keep it pretty quick this week in the interest of not saying things that we will later regret and or just belaboring the point of what has already been said.
I don't know what you're talking about. I got the first play queued up. What went wrong? Look at Zamir go.
Yeah, we just saw that formation again, which
and never ran 2x3 again.
A little bit of a mystery to me.
23 and out apparently. So let's start with. I'm gonna start with 1,000. I want to start at the biggest level and start sort of 10,000 foot takeaway here. And I'll start because I want to be, if not hopeful, then at least let's be realistic here. Roll your minds back with me, fellow UGA fans, to the Arkansas game and pretend that we are down 5-2 at the half or whatever it is that we were down. I think that's what 7-5. Whatever it was. Pretend that we were down that weird score because Jamie Newman, Nick Chubb style, blows out his knee in the first quarter. What are we thinking about the season then? Because I sort of feel like we'd be thinking, well, we're definitely going to lose to Florida and Alabama now.
No, that's not true because we're like, okay, bring in JT. We're in the same place right now because we had another 5-star.
I disagree. Well, okay, you guys might have, but what I'm saying is, I think
this could have happened anyway.
We treated Newman's loss as though him being starting quarterback and leaving didn't matter. And we've seen many times before where being a 5-star and being in the wings does not always mean that you're ready or able to do what you need to do to win. So, I don't know. I'm just really, I'm not upbeat about it, but it's just ultimately, I think we need to be realistic. And Stetson Bennett was and is a good story. Dwan Mathis was and is a good story, but these guys are not SEC starting caliber quarterbacks right now. And they can both do some things, but neither of them, I mean, would you rather have the quarterback room we have or get or not room, but would you rather have those two or Basilak from Missouri?
Well, I made the tweet as what quarterback from the SEC would you not want right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Felipe Franks. I think
Felipe Franks would
mash ass with this in this team.
Yeah, he would have torn it up in this game.
Yeah,
can't believe I'm saying.
Yeah, no, he would have. I mean, and look, ultimately, what the plays are going to show you, and I want to get y'all's take from a high level view. But if we get into the minutia is going to show you the same thing. We had open dues the whole game, and we didn't hit them.
Yeah, and I mean, I think so. We started the game up 14-0, and the play that put us up 14-0, Stetson injures his arm. I know a lot of people think Stetson Bennett is a middling to bad quarterback anyways, but he was playing well in the early goings of that game. He hit a really good pass to Rosemy-Jacksaint over the middle, and then he got hit on the type of play that Dan Mullen ran on the field against Missouri for, but Kirby Smart didn't do that because Kirby Smart's not a schmuck. And then it kind of felt like the wind went out after that. Georgia was in a place where they couldn't afford any more injuries, and they
had some injuries.
Yeah. They had a lot more injuries, yeah. And eventually, and I've seen a lot of people online. It's well, you have 16 5-stars on your roster, so there's no excuse. Well, having 16 5-stars is what allowed us to, in the second half, hold Florida to 6 points in that game. Or in the second half of that game, I mean, because they came on and they were in over their heads, and then they settled down, and Georgia made some adjustments on defense, and things got better. And so I will credit that because it felt a lot like a game at halftime where I didn't know and didn't think that, like, I thought it was very possible we would come out and not really fight in the second half. And it could have been like a 40-point blowout where we give up, 50 or 60 points. And that would have been really bad for recruiting, and it would have been really bad for a lot of other reasons. But Josh is running a lot of plays right now of guys open and they're not getting hit. Mathis came in the third and fourth quarter, and I think the thing that we all really need to realize is that currently right now, as I understand it, DeJuan Mathis is the fourth string quarterback at Georgia. Bennett is clearly the guy that the coaches say is ahead of him. Newman would have been first string, and I still think JT Daniels would have been the option, but I have on very good authority that JT Daniels is hurt, and he's still hurt. And so why Kirby Smart won't say that is a totally another conversation, but I believe that he's hurt, and I've talked to people that know what goes on inside of Georgia's program, and they are certain that he is hurt and not healthy enough to play. They are also certain if he becomes healthy enough to play in the next month that we will see him before the end of the season, and maybe that's something to look forward to. But the astonishing thing about this game for me is that Georgia was down, 38-17 at the half, and honestly, with a competent quarterback, like with a Joe Cox at quarterback, we probably – I mean, it's hard to say because maybe Florida changes their play calling if we start scoring a bunch of points, but we easily left 4 to 5 touchdowns on the field on misthrown and overthrown passes, which sucks, but it also gets me really, really excited to see what Todd Monken is going to do with this offense when we do get a good quarterback in there.
If I can jump in here, because I'm going to put one of my spreadsheets up here. I mean, you and I, we were all bummed out and disappointed. We all have careers and jobs that didn't necessarily allow us to really dig into this game. So we're powering through it. And what I've got up here is our rushing plays on first down back for the whole game. You can see we went 75-yard Samir White touchdown, 12-yard Bennett scramble or rollout, and then from there it was 1, 3, 4, -1. I mean, we on first down runs, people were critical of some of the play calling of we weren't running on first down. We weren't running. It's they were not working. And it made for second and longs. And, we had a sub 30 success rate for the whole game. Not until the Kendall Milton run on the DeJuan Mathis touchdown for that first down run for 17 yards did we have more than one successful run for that game. So, I mean, they did everything they could on offense, I felt, to succeed. They didn't necessarily run the ball as much as we would have wanted, but it wasn't successful. And what was successful were plays were open, and they could see that, and they were trying to execute those. And like you said, Graham, quarterback execution was something we did not have on Saturday.
Yeah. No, and I think it's like any game that you go 9 for 29, your quarterbacks go 9 for 29 and 3 interceptions, you're going to lose that game. I don't care if it's against Florida or – I mean, if we get that production from the quarterback spot, we'll lose to Missouri this weekend.
I don't have anything cogent to say. I mean, we could talk about dumb internet rumors or stupid narratives, but
you want to look at do we want to look at that DeJuan drive? I mean, I've got that.
Yeah, I do. I want to look at the touchdown in particular because, I think even the touchdown is the problem with DeJuan, because the dude has no touch. I mean, we're running the ball well. He's running. It's clear that when we have the play, when we have the read option with him on, it works. I mean, it really does. And this is a great run. I mean, he's got a lot that you like in a quarterback. He's shifty. He's not afraid to take a hit. He can deliver a blow. But I mean, this throw, let's see. I think it's the next play. Probably should have taken that, by the way. They ran an interior D-line pinch. You don't run a play action into it. So I think it's this one, or a read action into it. So he takes this ball And, he's throwing it down the middle to a wide open guy. Oh, no, he misses this one. I'm trying to find the one where he
Good
hits
Lord, he overthrew that by 12 yards.
And he had 2 or 3 steps on him, too.
But here, I think this is the throw because, look, he's got – I mean, look how wide open he is.
Look at Darnell, though. Darnell, like, with a little touch, that is a touchdown to Darnell. Like, just straight up.
Or with a little touch, that's a touchdown to Demetrius where he threw the ball.
Yeah. So then he, I think this is the 4th and 1 play.
Now here I got the 4th and 1. Here we go.
Not
this
great.
This
not
was
great.
fun. Come on.
Yeah. So this is fine. He makes the right read. Not great decision making to even get it to 4th and 1.
So we were talking about this before the game. Before we started. So does he make the read, or is he just going with it that way?
No, I think he makes the read. They all crash in on to the inside. I don't think he made some like super big brain read or whatever, but I think there wasn't an unblocked man, so I doubt he was actually reading a man. So it might have been him the whole time. So
Wait, so do we have a touchdown pass he threw?
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten there yet. I got to get there. Hang on. Here, there it is. Do we want to look at 38? No, we don't care about 38. All right, we'll just do
here we go. So this is the problem. This is a throw. This is some kind of throw. And the fact that it's a touchdown, I don't like the heave. Like Kyrus has to descend into that because it is just he just throws a bullet. And it's like, dude, like throw it over their heads, like put a little touch on it. I don't know, man. I am not a quarterbacks coach. Like I have no idea how to, it just feels like everything is rushed. Like he gets to the point when he wants to throw and his mechanics are rushed and he's just throwing the shit out of the ball at all times. Like, and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, and I get it. Like, I don't know if it's because he doesn't have experience. I don't know if it's because he just had a major brain surgery, which would probably have an effect psychologically on you. I don't know. I have a friend who used to play football who says that he thinks he's scared. Like, not like he's weak, he's scared, but like literally, like sometimes you come back from an injury and you don't want to get hit and you're scared of getting hit. And like, that's a totally natural thing. And if he hasn't overcome that, it doesn't matter why it's happening. And I'm not saying that Dwan Mathis can never be an SEC starting caliber quarterback. I'm just saying right now, what's infuriating about this year is not even the defense. It's not the quarterback play. There's so many open wide receivers.
Yes.
And they're open in ways that we were yelling at them to be open for. We were yelling at them. This was without George Pickens. This was the Kyrus Jackson, who was probably our 4th option for the year as the centerpiece of the offense. There's so many open wide receivers. I feel good about next year, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, and like you say, and I think, looking how ineffective we were on the run, and like I talked about, Monken's in the booth. The guys are seeing that these plays are open, so they kept calling them. And I think, it clearly wasn't our day. I don't know what could have made it our day. I mean, when Florida was getting, 4.5 yards to carry anytime they wanted to up the middle, it was clearly they were going to do whatever they wanted to on offense. I mean, and I was very pleased to see the defense bow up in the second half, and they gave us a chance. We were down 2 scores with plenty of time on the clock, and I was real happy with that effort. That never seemed to, they never gave up and they kept fighting. So that was kind of, I'm still looking for silver linings, but I was pleased by that. And I hope to see some more of these. I want to see some young players on offense and defense. I mean, we're going to need to see them on offense, but I just, here we are. It's our first 2-loss regular season in a long time. So,
yeah, and I mean, I think I wrote an article on Dog Sports this morning, kind of in response to like a lot of the things that I'm seeing on message boards and on Twitter, and even like hearing certain commentators that should know better say, there's a lot of talk of like, well, Kirby Smart's a bad coach, and the game, everyone keeps going back to the quote that Nick Saban made earlier this year before the Alabama game, where basically, the defense doesn't win championships anymore. And I think that's true. I mean, I think you have to have a good defense. Ask Oklahoma if just having a really good quarterback and passing game will get you to a national title. It won't. You got to be able to stop somebody sometimes. But I think everyone's talking about, oh, Kirby Smart needs to realize this. The dude realized it last year after the LSU game. He said on the podium, and he said that, we didn't have enough good wide receivers. He went and recruited 3 really good wide receivers. He went and hired probably like the best guy that he could have possibly hired to come in and implement an explosive passing game. And he has done that to the same thing that you said, Nathan. There are guys open everywhere, and they are not George Pickens. They are not even some of these blue chip wide receivers. We had walk-on wide receiver Jalen Johnson in the game for a lot of the second half due to injury, and he was open all of the damn time. So, I think it's all there, but we just don't have somebody to put the ball to him. As far as D'Wan Mathis, like he's not going to be the guy. I want him to be the guy. I want him to have success, especially after what he went through with the brain surgery and all that. But the reality is that there's certain things that a quarterback has to have when they get to college in order to be successful. And there's a baseline of those things. And there's like if we were playing NCAA football, the video game, like D'Wan Mathis's awareness would be like a 36. You cannot run out of bounds on 2nd and 4 and take a 5-yard loss when you had plenty of time to throw the ball away. And so things like that, it's like, that's not something that you can blame it on coaching, but it's also someone that plays quarterback their whole life. It's just an expected thing that they're going to know that, right? So I don't know if Carson Beck is, that play right there.
Come on, that was awesome. I was ready. Dog stats.
That was impressive.
Still chopping.
But I don't think Carson Beck is like ready to play. I think my fear is that if you throw him out there and he doesn't know the offense and he's not ready, that you probably break him forever. But I don't know if Bennett's healthy. I can't imagine the coaching staff looking at film from this game and saying, all right, we're going to go and beat Missouri with D'Wan Mathis at quarterback and actually throw the ball more than 8 times in the game.
We're not healthy at the running back.
Yeah, if JT Daniels gets healthy, then maybe he steps out there. And that's like the one slimmer of excitement I think that is kind of still there a little bit with this season of like maybe over the next 4 games. And I would love to be proven wrong about Mathis, but maybe over the next 4 games, somebody does step into that position and show kind of a glimmer of competency that we can point to for next year. But the reality is that Brock Vandegrift comes in next year, and it's going to be pretty easy to recruit a graduate transfer quarterback if you show them all of this tape and say, do you think you can come in here and be successful? The answer is going to be yes. Someone did just send me a DM on Twitter saying that JT Daniels worked at the Ones today. I don't know if that's verified or not, but if so,
it was pretty well. I think it was out there. I think
it's been sort of bouncing around.
Yeah.
Well, that would be exciting. I would say
I think it was that all 3 quarterbacks worked with the Ones. Beck, Daniels, and Mathis all were with the Ones today.
So yeah, if Daniels comes out there and blows it up though, then Kirby Smart's going to have a massive problem on his hands of why didn't you do this sooner? But I also personally believe he's still not healthy, so I would be shocked if he played this week. But
no, I think it's health. Nathan and I were talking on air, and I was just like, just because it was the most UGA thing ever is that the quarterback comes, like the whole Stafford situation, it's like, but I think that he wasn't ever an option to start.
I guess before we go, like my question for you guys would be, what are you still excited about with this year, if anything, or what are you looking for from the team or from the coaching staff to kind of roll into next year? Because the reality is that we open up with Clemson in 9 months. And we got to figure a lot of shit out between now and then.
I'm excited to see the defense continue to get snaps and get players and find out, how good we are on defense. Some of the younger players. I know we're not going to see Kelly Ringo, but Major Burns. I want to see the youth. I want to see some of this. I want to see Broderick Jones get. We're going to have to find a center for next year. So I want to see this. There's kind of, of course, this is going to sound stupid, but there's a sense of relief a little bit. It's like, we don't have to cheer and coach and like our pants are on fire. It's like, we can, take a step back and enjoy a little bit of football without it being, the world riding on it. And yeah, we've got tons of players and we get to see them play and, without, the season in the balance. And hopefully they'll get a chance to play and they'll win some games. I don't know if we're going to win them all. I mean, I think Missouri is going to be problematic. I think Missouri is probably the hardest game we got left. But I just want to see some players that we've seen their names and we didn't get a chance to see them in, the non-conference games. And let's go from there.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much I just like to watch football. So I think the defense is still good. I think, there's not anything in particular that I'm into, but
somebody's going to emerge. Somebody's going to emerge.
There's going to be some cool players that come around. And
who is it?
Fun.
Who's going to be? Give me an offense and a defense guy. Somebody give me. I mean, is Darnell Washington going to ball out?
I hope so. Darnell, I think would be great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Darnell. One thing that I was left thinking on Saturday night is like, we have a Kyle Pitts and Darnell Washington.
Oh, so good.
That play,
we got to get the ball to him.
Yeah, that touchdown pass that he caught over by the front right pylon on Stevenson. I mean, Stevenson didn't play the ball well, but like he was stuck to him like glue. But Pitts just basically like used his big body and
just caught above his head. Yeah,
that was sick.
Yeah, it was
sick.
And we've got that, and we've got that plus another like 3 or 4 inches in Washington. And Washington will probably get faster and stronger with a full offseason of conditioning and all that. So it's like that's exciting. I think on defense, I agree with you. Like, there's some absolute freak show athletes that are waiting in the wings, and I think
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, Jalen Carter. Yeah, Jalen Carter is a good one. I think Zion Logue was on the field for certain plays in the fourth quarter. That's exciting. So, yeah, I mean it's all player development now, right? You don't want to go too far down the wormhole and like lose to Vanderbilt for the sake of trying to get snaps for young guys, but this season was always a wash, and truthfully, some of these guys on defense that are seniors and upperclassmen, a lot of them will leave and go pro, but a lot of them will be back next year because they don't lose a year of eligibility for this. So I think that Georgia has a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipe, and if we can get JT Daniels on the field, I think that's a huge bonus for us because the chances of Vandegrift coming in and going from playing single A ball in Georgia to Clemson secondary are not good. So,
let's say that for another show.
Yeah. Well, I think we done what we could. I hope that it helped some of you. There are brighter things ahead, and we'll make it. We'll make it through this season together. It's been fun to have you guys here tonight, and we thank everyone who's been watching for being here. We hope that we helped improve your day my advice would be to get off of Twitter and get off of the message boards. Maybe not permanently, but if you wanted to be nice to yourself, then yes, probably permanently.
One thing before we go though, I do want to point out that like this was every year for almost 2 decades under Rick. So
absolutely right.
Appreciate what Kirby Smart has done the last 3 years that we haven't been in this spot.
Absolutely. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard here today, you can find us at Chapel Bell Curve and at the Battle Hymnal. You can find me at Nathan J. Lawrence. You can find Josh at dog_stats, and you can find Graham at Dog Out West. We will catch you next weekend in Moco, I guess, or Como rather. Como. We will catch you next weekend at Shakespeare's Pizza, I suppose. But until then, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.